in terms of something like getting the blueprint for a fighter plane or some nuclear secrets, none of that. And I never got close to any of those decision makers that they were interested in.
And were you like, if you wanted to get close to something like that, what were your strategies? I'm trying to imagine myself in your shoes, doing this job, and like if you were in coffee shops, social gatherings, would you bring up the topic of military and problems between, Russia, Cold War issues, or would you? How would you go about those conversations? What were some
Well,
of your
here's
techniques?
here's a problem that nobody knew was coming. So while I was a bike messenger, I couldn't socialize. Come on,
Right.
because when the question comes up to what do you do for a living, and there was a significant dichotomy between my intellect and the job that I had. So something must have been wrong with me. Maybe I was I had just been released from jail or some shit like that. Sorry for the curse word.
No worries. You're allowed.
So and then I got a job as a computer programmer in a mainframe environment, and there was overtime, there was weekend work, and there were night calls, and I had to do a good job. And there came a point rather quickly when when my spy job got in the way of doing a really good job in my computer job, because I really liked what I was doing. For the first time in many many years, I was able to spin some logic and create stuff. And even the spy maintenance took a lot of time for me to prepare and mail a letter with secret writing that eventually wound up in Moscow. Took almost all of Saturday. Okay, for me to get information from Moscow, I had to be on a shortwave frequency every Thursday at 9:15, and I got
And how would
most.
you do that? Was that what was that done through? Was that at home, or did you have to go
Yeah, at home,
somewhere?
at home. No,
Okay.
absolutely. And I had a commercially available shortwave radio, and I had my special frequency, and I received Morse code, which was double encrypted. So it easily could mean that I wouldn't be done decrypting the message until maybe 2 a.m. So I didn't have a lot of time to hang out and socialize. This.
Right.
As an independently wealthy individual who runs a business, and and has all kinds of people that he pays to run the business for him or her, I would have been able to do that. But there was also this gap in social standing. There's places where I knew I could make friends with the right people, but I failed. I didn't have the proper background story. My if people ask me, so, you know, where did you grow up? What did you do before you became a programmer? I had this wicked story that had me uh, drop out of high school and then come down with phenomenal migraines. My mother died, and so I moved from New York City to upstate New York and worked on a farm for 15 years before I reappeared in New York. This is already a cock and bull story that there was nothing better. There was really, because and I had to have had a farm background simply because in those days farm workers were exempt from Social Security, so you could apply for a Social Security card much later in life, and that was not a problem. So there were a lot of restrictions that I struggled with, and I felt while I was still fully engaged, and that lasted until maybe the like 80, 86, 87. I felt like a failure because I thought I should have done better.
Mm.
But
Did you
I
ever
was.
recall any moments where you wanted or you felt an impulse to disclose to someone personally that was close to you, like who you were and that you were a
Yeah, yeah, that
spy?
Yeah, that happened. Let me see, 88, in the early late, yeah, in the early 90s, mid 90s maybe. I was married to uh, the daughter of my child that uh, I had produced with her, and the marriage didn't go very well. So this was after I had resigned from the KGB. I had no urge um, to tell anybody, even though I had a like torrid love affair very early on with a lady who was originally from Chile, and I had no urge to tell her anything because I had to protect myself and my identity. So, but after I resigned from the KGB, and it was years, and the FBI had not rang the doorbell, and so we one day we had but they at the time this happened, were investigating me because of based on what this Mitrokin fellow told MI6 that I exist. So we had a really bad argument once in the kitchen, and that's when I decided what I now call to use the nuclear option. And I told my then wife, I told her, you know what, I've always been on your side, and I tell you, I have proof for that because I used to be a Russian spy, and when they wanted me back in Russia, I stayed with you and Chelsea, that's our daughter, because I love you so much, even though that was very dangerous.